Hi, I'm Money Flow Mel with BlackBox Stocks. Just wanted to take a few minutes. I'm getting a lot of questions here and wanted to kind of add some additional context from a voice perspective and what I'm seeing. If you follow me on Twitter, you have seen this post. It's been something I've kind of referenced back to. And as much as it was hard to kind of trade around the day that it came in, we did see some size that was into some unusual positioning, specifically the 210, 410 calls. So here's my original tweet when that came in, and they did immediately go very upside down. But I want to kind of draw some attention on kind of why I was making a bigger deal about this opposed to some of the other money flow you may see or options flow you may see. They're positioning in an expiration that is outside of where you would expect to see most of your positioning. And what I mean by that is typically, especially with an entity like SPY, Qs, IWM, one of the indexes, you'll have rolled positions. And remember that somebody that's carrying a very large book may look to hedge, may look to, position otherwise, and use the indice to kind of balance out their book. And you expect to have heavy positioning into your monthly expirations. And for those that don't know, your monthly expirations are the third Friday of every month. And so when I see larger positioning into third Friday of every month, there's not that really isn't something that I'm like really drawn to as much as I am when I see positioning that is outside of a monthly expiration. Because why didn't they just choose to go with the monthly? That's something that I've noticed throughout time and time in the seat. And so when you start to see some size come in, and again, this was back on January 18th, they came in and there was actually in total 12.48 million premium, 44.6 thousand contracts into these 410 calls. And actually, if you look at this differently, and this was a red day, and so here I have this shown on the chart. I've got the go no go on, so it's not going to show your normal candlesticks and how that would like actually show. But we were actually tanking the whole time they came into here, but they actually really hit with some size. And something else I want to kind of add is on the way down, they were adding closer, well, I guess I can't say closer to the money because they were still very far out of the money. They were hitting the 405s when we were trading at 395.51. But again, above the ask with just shy of 5 million. And even as we continued down, they added a 402 position above the ask, just shy of 3 million. I want you to really pay attention to this, especially if you're newer to flow. Above the ask, this one came between the bid, above the ask, above the ask, above the ask. This is intent in that positioning. And I know that's extremely difficult to think on your intraday charts that there would be positioning that way, but institutions are not buying when there's a gap up and looking to go. Yes, you will still see that, don't get me wrong, but really if you're looking to position, and I want to kind of hone in here, they originally started coming in when the spot was just under 400, added, and I guess what's more important is that they're still in. And I'm going to really be discussing more about the 410 calls because that's where you had the most size. You had, $12.5 million there. And something that I'm struggling to understand is that they are still in a majority of this position. And yesterday, and I've been tracking this like crazy. If you're in the room, this has been like the position I've been like, what are they doing? I want to know when they're getting out. It's really what I'm intentionally trying to like track here, because I think that would give a shift to the market. Remember, when you get positioning like this, there's a market maker that has to take the other side. So if they were to close that market maker no longer has to carry those shares. And so I've been tracking this, and here I have all of the activity we've seen since they came in to current. And if we've seen any kind of bid side, and again, the position contract wise is just at 45,000 contracts. And so, yes, you've had a little profit taking, but I want to say like little as in 214 contracts, 200 contracts. And I'm going to take you over here to the BlackBox Stocks OI tracker so you can get a feel to see like this is the day right here that they came in. And while you've seen a little bit of you've really stayed consistent. And the thing that's kind of tripping me up here is yesterday on the push up and the run up, I kind of thought you'd see some more of this coming off, but here's the current stats with what we have. You have a volume of 89,000 versus 49 OI, which means that's still a huge chunk of the position in. And even on these moves up, as dramatic as they've been, remember when they originally came in, they were over 10 points out of the money. They're still in and not taking it off. And so just wanted to add a little context kind of with what I'm thinking. 210 is next week. There's not that much more time. They didn't take the opportunity to peel these off. You've got a lot of positioning. This is big money, and it's tripping me up to think why they did not take that off yesterday when you had the opportunity to really lock, you know, from 275, 285 up to 1075, 1085. Those contracts definitely jumped. Why they are still in. So I know that we've seen and we're starting to see some put positioning come in. Trust me, I would love to see a pullback and then see where money flow positions at that point. But this is something that's kind of haunting me. I'm getting a lot of questions. Are they still in? Yes, they are. I will continue to track OI. I think that's like the only thing I can do at this point. I definitely believe the moment that they exit, you will see a bigger move in the markets because again, remember when you have a position coming in and a player setting up, you have a market maker that has to take the other side of that trade. So they're taking shares. And so should this position close, you will see a move in SPY because you have just such a large position here. And remember, these are expiration 210. So we'll continue to monitor, we'll continue to update. For those that are BlackBox Stocks members, I want to give you the easiest way to be able to track this. You want to go to SPY, go to your filter, put your expiration on 210. That's going to mean that you'll always see anything that's coming in. And this is what I'm personally doing periodically throughout the day. If you have the expiration on 210, then you'll be able to kind of weed through and sift through a lot of the information. And then of course, from there, that flow will be white because it's exiting a position. But when you clean it up and you put it to a 210 expiration, you're able to narrow it down to where you can go through. Or you can also just go to historical and then use your calendar, go to the 18th, run your platform to show all data. Then you can go back and click where you had the larger positioning and run your filters that way. That's how I've personally been tracking it. I know there's a lot of you are tracking as well, just kind of some tips and tricks with how I'm kind of navigating through the platform with so much information. Appreciate your time and hope you all stay green. Have a great rest of your weekend and we'll do it all again next week.